Big move, big move. All right, moving on to the sixth round. We didn't have a fifth round pick, and this is one I'm going to default to you on. Heard a little bit about this guy, but not much. Kane Madrano, linebacker of UCLA. Will, what have you heard about this guy?
So this would be the one that like came through when I went, huh. Don't know who that guy is. But he was coached by our linebackers coach, Ken Norton Jr.
Yes.
So there's familiarity there. I think he actually, based on his size, may turn out to be a safety because he's about 220-ish kind of. Mm-hmm. He was the fastest linebacker at the combine. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about someone who's got a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
I'm playing as a box safety. Maybe he's somebody who can develop into covering tight ends, but for now, this is going to be a special teams guy, which you guys heard. My sleepers were my corn-fed white boys out of the Midwest. I had a couple of different, guys where I'm like, this is going to be our special teams guy, and you and Ab were like, well, why are you raving about special teams dudes? But
right, like, who is this guy? It is.
That could be a role that he plays coming in to start. So this was certainly though the one pick that I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah,
can't really comment on this one, but I can at least explain who he is.
Yeah, and shout out. I love that connection. You saw when he got drafted, they handed the phone to Ken Norton Jr. and they were able to, talk back and forth. And that connection, I love that. That was a theme we talked about last year. And now bringing in guys that these guys have coached or been around, so you know what you're going to get from him. The special teams aspect, I hadn't even thought about, but that could be huge for us because you get a guy in here that, honestly, played at UCLA, got a chance to play in the Big Ten, 72 tackles, sack and a half, 2 picks, and even returned one of those for a touchdown. But I think the biggest thing, he's a sixth-year guy, and he was the last 2 years captain. He was a team captain on the team. What did we talk about a lot last year with Sammer Still, with McGee? Both of those guys they're both captains at coming out of college on the team. We're getting good culture, team leaders, guys that have been in those fields. And so I love that. And first thing I thought when I was kind of looking at this guy, the same thing you said about linebacker by title, but potentially strong safety. I'm thinking Buffalo nickel, somebody could come right down to that line, set the edge, something like that. I love that. And then you got a name like Kane. I'm just thinking about Batman or something. Like, give him some dark face shadow. Just give me something. Oh man! But I mean, to your point, a lot of this that I'm talking about is from after the fact, doing the research, going back and looking through because that night of, and mind you, it was a long 3 days of that draft. But by that point, I'm just like, okay, all right, well. Yeah. Trust it. I'll trust it.
Right.
But I had no clue. I was like, this ain't the linebacker we were talking about. We're looking at all these other names. I'm like, who is this guy? But the connection and the connection, the culture, the leadership, those are all qualities that we continue to seem to get here in Washington. And I'm all for it. I love that. So let's see how it pans out. And we can go from there.